The Glen Cameron Australian Historics, Beaton up against Robbie, Phillis with Scott Webster and Laurie Fyffe all in the mix, John. It's going to be another big race.
Phillip Island becomes memory lane, doesn't it, as we watch these bikes get underway. And we're going to go to central commentary with Mark Brax and Phil Hallam.
Thanks, John. Yes, this is a marvellous exhibition of racing, and some of the machinery here, it's priceless. We've looked at that Irving Vincent. It is a replica, but still an immaculate piece of machinery, 1300 cc's. But the one that is the one is the Yamaha TZ of Wayne Gow. He might be back on 22nd, but it's probably that expensive that he doesn't want to try too hard. It's the ex-Freddie Spencer one that Freddie Spencer, 1983 and 85 world champion, campaign before they picked him up in the World Championship scene. So, and
that bike built by Irv Kanemoto too,
exactly.
Braxy, but it's actually a Freddie Spencer-a-thon out there at the moment with not only his 750 but also the CB900 replica. But Laurie Fyffe, the Mad Cannon, the reigning Australian champion, qualified in pole position just ahead of Robbie Phillis, Stu Loly and Andrew Lind, 4th place, and rounds out the front row.
Yeah, there's Scotty Webster, Bo Beaton, the winner of our 2 races, Danny Des, Robert Rualot rounding out the 2nd row.
3rd row is Michael Dibb, who unfortunately expired the engine yesterday, won't be able to take part today. Rex Wolfenden, Alfin De Hedepi and Jason Patterson, who's got a massive crew of supporters over at Turn 1 cheering him on for this race, rounds out Turn 3.
Wouldn't be anything to do with the Kawasaki, would it? Mick Neeson, Jason Rumble, he's the one on the Freddie Spencer replica 900. Darren Lark, Keith Higgs rounding out the 4th row that we just saw on screen.
Glenn Carroll, Neville Grant, Glenn Crutchley and Richard Easton round out row 5 of the grid in this massive and capacity field, Braxy.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. Chris McRae, Wayne Gow, as we said, on that Freddie Spencer, the real Freddie Spencer TZ Yamaha, Jim Rascatos, and then Ken Wootton, who is a non-starter because he's, well, what did he have? A bit of Hartlage went on him.
Work commitment, I think, is the official line in the press release, Braxy. Peter Ross on the 999 machine, Stephen Lembrugger, Simon Cook and Chris Munn. Simon Cook would be the leading Period 4 machine, I think, out there. Won the 2 races yesterday for the Period 4 bikes.
Ivan Munro, Danny Sarong, Bob Garner, Andy Baird rounding out their row 8.
Yeah, a strange smell of methanol coming through the commentary position here, Braxy.
Don't you just love it?
Oh, it smells absolutely fantastic. Clive Carter, Martin Pearson, Kelton Cheeseman and Dave Nicholson round out row 9 of the grid.
And rounding out the field is Brian Gray, Clive Warner and Donald Sexton. They might be back there, but they're still having as much fun at the rear as they are at the front. And we'll just see Robbie Phillis yesterday afternoon. I was talking to him in the QBE hospitality unit on top of Pitts Gardner Straight there, and he said during one of the races his glasses slid down his nose and he couldn't see. Well, he's not real. He's showing a bit of age, and he was trying, and he said then that everything fogged up and I didn't know where I was going. So I think he's got a bit of a get square to come to with Bo Beaton. He doesn't like being beaten by anyone, let alone someone that's less than half his age.
Well, we've been very impressed with Bo Beaton this year. Robbie Phillis is obviously very impressed with him. What was his official line, Braxy?
Well, when I asked him, I said about his riding style, he said he is a very good rider, but he was holding a bit back because I think he thought with the, with the youth, the
youthful exuberance.
That's the word I was looking for. That you get a bit excited. I said, "What? Pass him around the outside." He went, "Yes." So Robbie Phillis, but he's as we call. He didn't get the name Mr. Superbike. If he'd like to go back and look at some of the videos from the old days and see what he was like when he was a young whippersnapper racing those the Suzuki and the Kawasaki. Here we go in the starter's hands for the 3rd and final race of this excellent Glen Cameron Historics. They're off and racing, and Laurie Fyffe, the loose cannon, comes off on pole. Robbie Phillis there with him. Couple been stranded, but it looks like bike number 32, Robbie Phillis on the Mick Hone Suzuki, is in there. Laurie Fyffe gets a good start this time to move into 2nd. That's the best start he's had all weekend as they come into Southern Loop for the first time. Robbie Phillis, remember yesterday afternoon, Phil, he got a lead of some 30 or maybe 60 metres in that first lap, and Bo Beaton managed to track him down and take the win, even after nearly running off the track when Robbie said, I actually brake checked him on the exit of Southern Loop there yesterday, just to give him a bit of a lesson in riding. Look at Robbie Phillis on bike number 32, and it's Scotty Webster in 3rd spot on that immaculate Moto Martin French designed frame that was used in endurance racing way back in those late 70s 70s and early 80s as well. And all these bikes will be on display tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Just because they're not racing tomorrow doesn't mean they're packing up and going home. They love the interest that the crowd's showing it. And as we said before, the interest in the crowd, and it's not telling fibs when there's been more on the ancient side of the paddock than on the modern side of the paddock. Robbie Phillis up through the hay shed. The battle for Laurie Fyffe is trying to get that thing a bit wide as he tries and holds off Scotty Webster. And there we go, Beaton in 4 spot going over Lukey Heights for the first time.
Yeah, Beaton's got off to a relatively good start there from the second row of the grid, as Scotty Webster's working overtime at the moment on the Moto Martin to try and get past Laurie Fyffe, the Australian champion for this year. Just recently wrapped that up, and he's riding very, very well, qualified in pole position. But as they come onto the straight, here comes Beaton up the inside of Scotty Webster, and now he's got Laurie Fyffe in his sights. Once he gets past him, the target is straight onto Robbie Phillis, who's built up a massive lead on this first lap.
Look at this, almost 3 abreast there, but Beaton, he would have been smelling the methanol there as he was right up at Scotty Webster's clacker there, but it's Laurie Fyffe is still out at the loose cannon. You don't get that name for nothing. He's defending Australian champion at the moment. Look at Robbie Phillis already halfway through Southern Loop as we see these guys start the ender as Scotty Webster round the outside again. You wouldn't, Beaton round the outside again. And then it's Scotty Webster trying the same move as they exit Southern Loop down the fast turn, the back straight into turn 3. Immaculately prepared bike, this thing, and this is the actual bike that Robbie Phillis and Mick Hone campaigned all those years ago. Now Beaton's in second as they exit turn 4 Moto corner for the second time.
Yeah, Laurie Fyffe started to get the back end a little bit lively into turn 4 on that occasion. There's Rex Wolfenden and bike number 2 having a great battle bit there further back in the pack. And Rex Wolfenden is a former Australian champion in the historic classes as well. As we look at this massive field streaming through now, but it's Robbie Phillis up towards the hay shed on the second of 8 laps, Braxy. He's got a reasonably big lead, but we saw him have a big lead yesterday. It wasn't enough to stop a charging, rampaging Beaton, whose mentor, Craig McMartin, is here to support him this weekend. Said he couldn't believe the performance from Beaton on the Vincent. He said he picks up very, very quickly on what he's been taught.
One of the fastest learners, he said, yeah, Phil. And I think Robbie Phillis might have duct taped the glasses to his head today so they don't slip down his nose, so he sees for the entire race as we see them go through. But looking at the battle for 3rd and 4th, it's still Laurie Fyffe on his Suzuki up against that Moto Martin. That's an immaculate prepared old endurance racer they used to use in the Bol d'Or and the races like that, side by side as they come down there, they complete their 3rd lap. Be interesting to see where the rest of the crew are at the moment. Phillis there having a lead of 3.3 seconds, as you can see on your super screens, with Laurie Fyffe another 3 seconds in arrears in 3rd spot, just holding off Webster, then Stu Loly, then Rex Wolfenden from T-Rex Racing, brother of Clyde Wolfenden, who used to have done a lot of campaigning for Honda Australia, went overseas with Anthony West when he first went over with the Shell Advance team on the NS 500 RV way back then in the early late 1990s, early 2000. But here we go with Laurie Fyffe. Where's Robbie Phillis? There's Beaton in the 2nd spot. He's trying to track him down. What was the distance then? 3.3 seconds at the end of that lap. Scotty Webster, he reckons he's had to grow something overnight to give him a good account of himself. He reckons he's got them hanging out ready for today's effort. And I think maybe he's finally relegated Laurie Fyffe to 4th spot as we see them overtaking manoeuvre replayed on our GP TV super screens. And look at the thing bouncing as it goes in. Oh, see that, Phil? The thing was bouncing all over the place, using every bit of suspension travel to keep that thing on the deck.
Yeah, also too, looks like the rider on bike number 12's run on there at turn 4, and you couldn't believe the performance there from Scotty Webster on bike number 76 as Phillis comes around the top of the circuit now as the rider on bike number 12, Richard Easton, gets back out on track. Disappointing, he was running in 10th place after qualifying in 20th, but here's the replay now of Robbie Phillis. Front wheel starts to get a little bit elevated. You won't want to be doing too much of that, Robbie, because Beaton is coming very, very quickly from behind. It was 3.3 seconds as they crossed the start-finish line on the last lap. What is the gap now as they come round to complete another lap? And Beaton certainly has closed up by about a second on that lap, Braxy. So with the half-race distance, 4 seconds available. If he can pick up a second every lap, he'll be well and truly in the mix.
Yeah, well,